Oliver's exciting adventure in Neverland. Once upon a time, in the magical world of Neverland, a young boy named Oliver awoke to the sound of gentle wind chimes. He rubbed his eyes and sat up in his cozy bed, curious about the new day ahead. Outside his window, the sky was a brilliant shade of blue, and the birds were singing melodies that filled the air with joy. Oliver was just 6 years old, but he had an adventurous spirit and a kind heart. Today was going to be special because he had been invited by Peter Pan himself to visit Neverland. Peter Pan, the boy who never grew up, was known for his love of flying and his favorite dessert, chocolate chip cookies. He was always accompanied by his best friend, Tinker Bell, a tiny fairy with a heart full of mischief and magic. As Oliver got out of bed and put on his clothes, he couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement bubbling inside him. He quickly brushed his teeth and hair, making sure he was ready for the adventure ahead. Just as he was about to leave his room, he heard a light tap on the window. It was Peter Pan, hovering outside with a playful grin on his face. "Good morning, Oliver. Are you ready for an adventure?" Peter called out cheerfully. "Good morning, Peter. I'm ready," Oliver replied, his eyes sparkling with excitement. With a sprinkle of fairy dust from Tinker Bell, Oliver felt a tingling sensation as he lifted off the ground and floated out the window. Together, they soared through the skies, heading towards the magical land of Neverland. The scenery below was breathtaking, with lush green forests, sparkling rivers, and majestic mountains. As they flew towards Neverland, Peter shared stories of his many adventures with Captain Hook, his sworn enemy. Captain Hook was a fearsome pirate with a hook for a hand and a heart filled with mischief. He was always plotting ways to capture Peter and his friends. "But no matter what, we always stick together and find a way out," Peter said with a wink. "Courage and friendship, that's what keeps us going." Oliver listened intently, feeling inspired by Peter's bravery and loyalty to his friends. He wondered what challenges awaited them in Neverland and how he could help. They soon arrived at Neverland, and Oliver was greeted by the Lost Boys, a group of adventurous children who lived with Peter Pan. They welcomed Oliver with open arms, eager to show him around their fantastical home. Together, they explored the mystical forests, climbed towering trees, and discovered hidden treasures. One day, while they were playing near the river, they heard a distant roar followed by the sound of crashing waves. Tinker Bell flew up to investigate and quickly returned with alarming news. "It's Captain Hook and his crew. They've set a trap for us near Skull Rock," Tinker Bell exclaimed, her wings fluttering with urgency. Peter Pan's eyes narrowed with determination. "We can't let Captain Hook capture us. We must come up with a plan." The Lost Boys and Oliver gathered in a circle to brainstorm. Oliver, recalling the stories Peter had told him, suggested a clever idea. "What if we use our friendship and teamwork to outsmart Captain Hook? We can create a distraction while Tinker Bell sneaks aboard his ship and frees anyone who might be captured," Oliver said with a confident smile. Peter Pan's face lit up with admiration. "That's a brilliant idea, Oliver. Let's do it." With their plan in place, they set off towards Skull Rock. The rocky cliffs loomed ahead, and the water churned with dark waves. Captain Hook's ship, the Jolly Roger, was anchored nearby, its black sails flapping in the wind. As they approached, Peter and the Lost Boys created a noisy commotion by banging on rocks and shouting loudly. This caught the attention of Captain Hook and his crew, who rushed towards the source of the noise, leaving the ship unguarded. Tinker Bell, with her tiny wings and shimmering fairy dust, darted across the open water and boarded the Jolly Roger. She quickly located the prisoners and used her magic to unlock their chains. The prisoners, who were delighted to be freed, thanked Tinker Bell and hurried to escape. Meanwhile, on the shore, Peter Pan, Oliver, and the Lost Boys continued to distract Captain Hook and his crew. Just when it seemed like they might be caught, Oliver had an idea. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a handful of shimmering fairy dust that Tinker Bell had given him earlier. "Let's fly, everyone!" Oliver shouted, tossing the fairy dust into the air. The lost boys cheered as they lifted off the ground, soaring above the bewildered pirates. Captain Hook, seething with fury, shook his hook at them. "You'll pay for this, Peter Pan," he bellowed, but his threats were lost in the wind as the friends flew higher and higher. They regrouped on a nearby cliff, their hearts pounding with exhilaration. Tinker Bell rejoined them, her eyes twinkling with pride. "You did it, Oliver. You saved the day," she said, giving him a tiny kiss on the cheek. Peter Pan smiled warmly at Oliver. "You showed great courage and friendship today, Oliver. We're lucky to have you as a friend." Oliver beamed with happiness, knowing that he had made a difference. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over Neverland, they all gathered around a campfire. Peter Pan pulled out a tin of his favorite chocolate chip cookies and shared them with everyone. As they enjoyed the delicious treats, Peter Pan told more stories of their adventures, and Oliver listened with wide-eyed wonder. He knew that he would always cherish the memories of his time in Neverland and the lessons he had learned about courage and friendship. As the stars twinkled in the night sky, Oliver felt a sense of warmth and contentment. He knew that no matter where he went, he would always carry the spirit of Neverland with him, and the bonds of friendship that could never be broken. And so, with a heart full of love and adventure, Oliver drifted off to sleep, dreaming of new adventures and the magical world of Neverland, where courage and friendship would always shine bright.
Created by a kid and their parent using Talebot, click the link in the video description to create your own story.